Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look here at the current conditions, diving into that tropical cyclone, and we're just going to be taking a look at the overall pattern. So let's take a look here, first off, at the current conditions, and as you can see, there's a lot going on actually. We have some showery activity up here in the northwestern corner of the nation. This is mostly lighter showers. There is some more moderate showers. We'll take a deep dive into that region in just a little bit. There's more thunderstorm activity going on here across the central United States, pretty scattered around, but we see some pockets of that taking place. And these seem to be heavier, a bit less persistent. So we're seeing these come to an end pretty quickly compared to this area that's looking more like hours and hours and hours of rainfall. We do have some showery activity down here in North Carolina kind of taking place, and then also our tropical cyclone, which we need to go ahead and take a look at also. So let's start out in the northwestern United States real quickly with these lighter showers. And as you can see, they're just moving across the region. This is, again, just, we talk about this all the time, but this area obviously always sees these types of conditions. It's almost more common than clear weather, which is just absolutely absurd, but that is how it is up here in the northwestern United States. So we're going to be seeing rainfall for quite a while there. Now, as we move up to the north central United States, we see kind of the beginning of these thunderstorms and heavier showers for some of these spots. So for South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, we're kind of just seeing these heavier showers in here. Could be some thunderstorms, especially here on this southern region there. We're seeing that get a little bit heavier. But regardless, heavier showers, whether it's thunderstorms or not. We do see this area, which is pretty interesting, this spinning storm here. I was taking a look at this a little bit earlier. So it is giving us that kind of counterclockwise rotation there. Very, very cool stuff. Probably just showers, but potentially a thunderstorm in there, especially here on this southern end there. That kind of orange and red indicating a little bit of a more elevated storm system there for Kansas, but that's a pretty interesting storm overhead for you guys. So let us know what the conditions are like there if you do happen to be in Kansas. Now down here for Texas, we are seeing some showers and some thunderstorms. More thunderstorms here for the central portions of the state, even the western and northern regions of the state earlier. We're seeing those more thunderstorm-like storms, and then we see these showers and more light to moderate showers going on here for eastern Texas, I would say. Now for the tropical cyclone, we're seeing a lot of rainfall here. I saw videos coming in from Miami of some very heavy flooding, so I know you guys are undergoing extreme flooding for some spots there in Miami. It might just be the flood susceptible areas. I don't know how widespread it is at this point, but I know there is some very crazy flooding videos being uploaded to the internet, and it's really crazy to see. So I know you guys are going through a ton of rainfall, so please be safe out there. It's mostly the southern half of the state that we're seeing this really extreme amount of rainfall at this point. We'll even take a little bit of a zoomed in look here towards Miami, where you can just tell that the heaviest showers were just right over you guys for hours and hours and hours there. Absolutely wild, and that extends all the way up to Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach. These areas are seeing those yellows and oranges and reds for basically the entire radar loop here. So quite a long time of just this persistent rainfall. Now we're going to see this storm throughout the day today cross over the state, and eventually it'll be impacting more of the northeastern regions, more northeast. It's not really the northeast regions of Florida, more like the central east coast of Florida. There we're going to start to see those impacts for those regions, and then it's going to basically move out by this late afternoon into the evening today. Now, like we mentioned, there is these showers up here as well, but these look to really be coming to an end this morning. Those were more happening overnight. As you can see, they were much more widespread, and now we're just left with a few areas here of some rainfall that are also coming to an end at this point. All right, well, that looks to be about it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to move on, and we're going to go ahead and talk about the modeled guidance. All right, now here we are taking a look at some of that modeled guidance. Let's just move towards this afternoon, and we can see that this low is going to go from about here all the way to the east coast of Florida. So it's going to move across the state by the time we're reaching about 1 or 2 p.m. here. These showers will still be ongoing for the northwestern United States, and then a lot of the central United States is still going to be having this thunderstorm activity. Just take this towards Sunday afternoon, we can see this low is going to be offshore of the southeast, probably a tropical storm at that point, or a post-tropical cyclone. It really just depends. We see a lot of the showery activity actually expanding by the time we're reaching tomorrow afternoon on Sunday. So that's going to be interesting. We see that down here or up there, actually, better yet, in the north central United States, we have some of that thunderstorm activity persisting by that point. And then by the time we reach Monday afternoon, this dives down towards the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes. We still see the showery activity, though, up here in the northwest. So pretty interesting to see that really persisting. And then by the time we reach Wednesday afternoon, what's interesting is a lot of this thunderstorm activity shifts to the eastern United States. And in yesterday's video, we really talked about that for quite a while, how a lot of that activity is in the northwest and the north central United States and has been for a little while. That is going to really shift towards primarily being in the eastern half of the nation, and it's going to hang around for quite a while. We see by Thursday, again, you can kind of picture that all of that activity is within there for the most part. Friday, even more intense here, but we see a lot of this activity here. Let's move towards Saturday, and wow, we have a pretty strong low there over the northeastern United States popping up here on the European model, which is pretty interesting. It's actually a nor'easter of sorts. Very interesting to see that. I did not notice that yesterday, so that must be a new feature showing up here on the model. But that is a very strong low that moves up the eastern United States. Very rare this time of year. It almost starts as like it takes the track of like a clipper and then heads up the coast just like this. Let's watch that play out. Wow. Very interesting. We'll have to see if the model keeps showing that. But you get the point. A lot of the activity is sticking around this area for the most part. And that's only after the next few days are up. We do see the activity persist in the west for a little while, and the north central United States, I should say. And then that eventually shifts towards the eastern half of the nation, and it stays there for quite a while. All right, now let's take a look at the total precipitation through the next 10 days. And if you're anywhere in the whites, you're expecting practically no precipitation. Grays will be 1/10 of an inch or less. Greens will be 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. Blues will be 1/2 an inch to an inch. Yellows will be 1 inch to 2 inches. Reds will be 2 to 5 inches. And then your browns will be 5 to 10 inches of precipitation. We can see a lot of the reds and browns are over the eastern half of the nation because, again, a majority of that model run showed the eastern half of the nation seeing that storminess. Now for total snowfall, look at this. If you're anywhere in the grays, you're expecting a dusting, if anything. If you're anywhere in the blues, you're expecting 2 to 6 inches of snowfall over the next 10 days. And if you're, anywhere outside of the United States, that's the only place you're going to get any more. Up there in Canada, I see some purples, which will be 6 to 10, and then some pinks, which will be 10 to 20. But this is receding rapidly, and I expect over the next couple of days this to go down even further, which is just, I don't know. It's an exciting time of the year when the snow goes away, and then it's very exciting also when it comes back. So this is a very interesting time. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about the upcoming temperature pattern. Now, here we are taking a look at that temperature pattern. We can see there is a bit of cold air over the east. Let's just move towards this afternoon because we can see that things do kind of warm up throughout the day for a lot of these areas that were cold overnight. There is some colder air up here compared to normal, also for the northwest. Now, as we approach kind of Sunday time frame, we see that the jet stream is possibly doing something more like this, where we see this warm air surging up into these areas, just like this. And then a lot of this cold air is coming back down around like this. So we are seeing a trough in the west, ridge in the east type pattern. As we approach Monday, it gets even more persistent here with the warmth heading up the east coast. So we're seeing this take place, a lot of cold air for the west here and the north central United States. And as we approach Tuesday, it's pretty clear that this trough is potentially moving further eastward here. So we're seeing this potentially take place, and also some warmer air making its way into the west, which is a sign that the cold is going to move towards the east. So we see this building in. The cold air is kind of tilted towards the east. And we see the warm air building even further for the west here. And it's trying to build into something sort of like that. Let's move towards Friday afternoon. Gets even more prominent. And then obviously here by Sunday on the 12th, that's going to be June 12th, we see a big ridge in the west and a big trough in the east. Now, this isn't going to be cold air. It's just going to be cooler than what's typical. Obviously, it's June, so yeah, pretty obvious there, but mostly colder air compared to normal for the west, or better yet, the east, and then warmer out there in the west. And that continues, as you can see, through the end of the model run as we're approaching the 14th of June. So as we approach the midpoint of the month, that is kind of what we're expecting to take place as far as temperature pattern is concerned. Now let's go ahead and take a look at that tropical system in just a moment. Now here we are taking a look at the National Hurricane Center. As you can see, this one is expected to become a tropical storm for quite a while. I'm actually surprised that it's not a tropical storm yet, but we have tons of tropical storm warnings up for all the blue regions where tropical storm conditions are expected. And by 2 a.m., as we approach into tomorrow, this one is expected to be a tropical storm and stay that way until about 2 p.m. on Monday, where it's going to become a post-tropical cyclone. They're indicated by the white circle with the S, and that's going to last all the way through 2 a.m. on Thursday when it's kind of in the middle of the North Atlantic there by that point. So that is the update for now. For the most part, we're seeing the worst of the impacts about right now. So we are almost through with this one. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to move on and we're going to take a look at the Storm Prediction Center real quickly. Now, here's the day one categorical outlook, and there's no surprise here. We do have pretty high risk where that tropical cyclone is located. Usually that brings severe weather with it, and that is what the Storm Prediction Center is predicting at this point. We have 4 general thunderstorm risks there in the lighter green regions. That's where we expect general thunderstorms, but anything is possible, so heed every watch, warning, and advisory. We have 2 darker green regions, which is our marginal risk area where we expect isolated severe weather to take place. And then the 2 yellow regions there is where we have a slight risk of severe weather and expect scattered severe weather to take place today on Saturday, June 4th. Now for day 2, which will be Sunday, June 5th, we have 2 general thunderstorm risks there in the lighter greens. But again, pay attention because anything is possible. We have 1 darker green region there, which is our marginal risk, and then the yellow area there for Kansas and Nebraska is our slight risk, where we expect scattered severe weather to take place. For day 3 on Monday, June 6th, we can see that we have a large lighter green region, which is again the general thunderstorm risk area. The darker green region there is going to be our marginal risk for isolated severe weather, and then the yellow area there is going to be our slight risk for scattered severe weather to take place. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we are at a 5 out of 6 still because everything we're talking about is happening like over the next 2 days, and then we're going to be moving towards where we're going to be looking forward towards our next events, and in that event, that's basically when our confidence will go down a bit. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovin Nagel, Larry LePan, Andy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I would also to thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Kudalesa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Bill Dallas, Garys, and John Khaleesi also. I'd also to thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.